it's Kenzy Knoxx and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will be going over Bob Ross's Misty Waterfalls Season 7 Episode 6. So I thought I'd give it a shot with some instructions with using acrylic paints rather than oil paints. It's slightly different, but for the most part we should be able to follow along, and we'll see how this turns out. So let's get started. Some colors he's laid out already are his titanium white, so we'll need some white, so grab your white. We'll also need some phthalo green, some phthalo, so I've got my phthalo green, I've got my phthalo blue, I'm using some navy instead of that gray-blue color that he uses. I forget what it's called, but I know he uses it in this. We'll need some caddy yellow and some yellow ochre, so you might as well throw some yellows down. These are very popular colors he uses. He also uses dark sienna, or I use, in place of dark sienna, burnt umber. If you really want a redder color, you can use burnt sienna, or you can mix a little mix red oxide too in your palette if you need to. I also use marsh green. You don't have to. You can make the yellow and black mixture, so you can add black to your palette and yellow. You can mix those two hues and obtain that green color that he goes for. Okay, so let's just jump in and get started. I'm excited. This should be fun. Just a little bit of black and phthalo blue. So midnight blue, or midnight black and blue, phthalo blue. And he's just dancing it across the screen, as he called it. So I'm just going to grab my 1-inch angular, or 3/4 inch angular brush, and grab some black and some blue. And I'm going to put that down. He starts over here and works his way all over the screen. But most importantly, he's darkest in the clouds. And if you have a liquid leveling medium, this is the best point to use it. Or if you have some blending medium, even like water, anything to help the paint travel. That's the biggest thing for his canvases. So you want that paint to really travel. And he just brings them all down to a point. And most of this will be covered, so we're not focusing too much on this. But make sure your brush is well and wet, and so that paint really does travel. And he just creates a few streams in the sky, focusing the darker colors up on these little areas that he creates. You might even throw in some sienna, I'm sure. Oh, a little black, a little blue, a little green. Oh, okay, so now we're making water, so that make sure you have that blue, that phthalo green, and some black. Careful with that phthalo blue, because it is overwhelming. And so in his painting, just blends it on out. And again, if you have mixing media, it really helps out. Use pouring media, use water, use something. Oil paints dry very slowly, so you're kind of pushing the paint around more than painting it on something. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so now he's just blending those skies together. I'm just using that same brush, wetting it down a little bit, and just blending that blue on out. I'm just trying to fill in some colors in that sky. And we're just probably going to cover this area up, so don't really worry too much about this. Okay, so you can wash out your brush. Now we're using some white, titanium white, or just white in my case. Oh, and he's mixing a little bit of red in there, so crimson red if you have crimson red. So this bright red color is what you're aiming for. And he's creating this light pinky color. Oh, and we're creating clouds. So taking the corner of your brush, he says, just start swirling around. Just play around. It's drifting. It can be however you want it to be. He's cleaning his brush out, but I'm just using my brush to blend it in up at the tops because you want those highlighted portions to stay nice and bright and then blend out the rest into the background. So we're going to pick up a little bit more color. Same dirty brush and just go along and push one side out. So mine's going to be the bottom. His is the top, I guess. You can go either way. However you want your clouds to be. There, now we have some sort of highlight. You can wash out your brush and blend it out a little more if you want. And we get a cloud. Okay. So now I'm going to put some background trees in. And so this is why I'm using the navy blue. He mixes the lavender color. So with phthalo blue, oops, sorry about that, and the crimson and possibly some black, I am using navy blue with some mixed media. And I'm also using a size 8 filbert brush, and he's using a mop brush. So we're just going to be tapping, tap, 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 light taps. So we want to know where our trees are going to be, so they can be anywhere you want as long as they're above this water line. So you can start up high. Looks like he's starting up high, maybe over here. I'm not really sure. Their zooms are quite interesting. They zoom into the areas, but you're not quite sure where they are, so you just kind of got to dance around with him. So I'm just making a base layer and then building up my trees. All with this navy color. Just this navy purple color. And our tree could be big up over here. I'm just creating some mist now. So just tapping it really lightly, or harshly. I'm just tapping it hard, I don't really know. I'm going to rinse out my brush a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of white to that purple. He's trying to lift, oh perfect, so he's trying to lift the liquid white, whereas I'm trying to put down some white. So I'm just blurring out that harsh line a little bit. And that, I guess, creates the illusion of mist. Okay, so now we can grab some more of that purple color, that navy color. And we're now going to create some more bushes. I'm just holding my brush a little different because the paint I don't want to pick up, so I'm tapping very lightly this flat-sided of the head of the brush. Oh, and then we can add some mist, doing that same method, picking up some white. And this one I'm not going to brush out because I like the way it looks like that, the mist. And it can go up and down and do whatever it wants. Okay, I'm going to rinse out my brush. Oh, now we're going to grab our liner brush. So grab your liner brush, get that wet, and we're going to dip it into that brown and black. So I don't know if I told you guys to grab black. Sorry if I didn't add black to your palette. So add some jet black or black. And you mix your brown and your black to get this dark brown color that he really uses. And we're going to just create some branches. I need a little more water. It's got to be a very watered down ink-like consistency. I never actually thought to do Bob Ross because I thought he was too difficult to actually try out, but I actually found that he's very easy to follow along with after you learn his teaching style. So don't be scared to try out his paintings. I mean, not that mine look anything like his, but they're relaxing, and that's all you're looking for is a relaxing good time. Then Bob Ross really isn't too bad. You might not have all the brushes and the paints, but you can make do if you know enough about mixing up the techniques. So now I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to switch to my stippling brush. I have a large stippling brush. And he's grabbing some cad yellow and some yellow ochre. And we don't want a lot of highlights. It looks a little green, so I'm going to grab some of that green in there. So I've got my tip of my brush done, and we're just adding some highlights over this. And we don't want to mix up too much of it. I'm going to dip some water just a little bit to loosen up my paints because I've got thick-bodied paints. And I'm going to add some of that mixed media stuff I have, and it really helps it become, I don't know, an easier texture to work with. Maybe it is more oil-like. I'm not really sure. But whatever it is, it works the way his paints work, and so it just makes it easier. And he's saying, don't make your brush strokes random. So picture your trees and picture where they would be, and then highlight them. So I might have over-highlighted. I'm not really sure. I'm just having fun, and that's the whole point. I hope you're having fun too. I hope this is relaxing for you. I know it's relaxing for me. And so they always say don't wash out your brushes, your stippling brushes, because you can't really work with a wet stippling brush. So you can always just wipe off the paint on a rag. I sometimes wash it out as quickly as possible, then dry it off as quickly as possible, and try to let it dry before I have to use it again, or I find a different brush to use. Okay, so now we're really going to focus on the waterfalls, I believe. So I'm going to put that brush aside. Okay, so we're grabbing the dark. I'm going to use like a size 8 filbert brush, I believe. And so now we're going to grab, I think he's grabbing phthalo blue. I'm not really sure. I might have missed the color. He didn't say. He doesn't say, so I'm just going to pick up phthalo blue. And our waterfall is going to start dropping here. So it goes over. And he says, make the whoo, the whoo's over. I'm going to have some purple in there because it's not dark enough. I really want it to stand out. Okay, so Van Dyke brown and dark sienna mixed together. Just mix some brown and some black together. And we're going to create, I've got some black paint and some brown paint on my brush. I'm going to hold it this way like scalp or spatula. And we're going to create this back wall of stone. And figure out where you want it to start, where it to go, where it to be. And I'm just going to jump ahead and go down over these sides down here and over here. I have tried this video out before, so I make sure it was doable. And you know, it is very doable. It's very easy. And on this side is a little more difficult. I'm just going to come down. It's up to you to where you want your stones to be and how you want them to look. What shades you want. If your paint's not spreading, make sure you wet your brush a little bit. You'll naturally create some stone-like structures. There. Okay, so rinse out your brush really well. I'm going to pick up some white. Pick some white and some of that brown up and mix them together on your palette. And I'm going to take that color and we're going to softly highlight some of these stones. These waterfalls are falling. Okay, so now we're just going to grab some white. We're just going to create some rapids up here. And then it'll just fall. And then he's going to make your splash, just push your brush upward. And it really does make it splash like that. It's a really great technique with the filbert brush anyway. And then we continue that water with that white. Just coming down here. Sometimes it splashes elsewhere. Create other splashes. Then we can create little waterfalls on itself. Okay. Then we went into some yellow and a little green. So I'm going to take my mustard green, or marsh green color, sorry. And we're creating a grass line, so I'm going to use the same filbert brush. I'm just going to push it up a little bit. Push up that line. Just so there's a grass line. Okay. Okay, so now he creates these angular like lines, that light brown color. So we're just going to take that light brown. We're just going to create, let's get it this way. Not the best angles. That's okay. All right, white, blue, and black. Oh, okay. So white, blue, and black, and we're going to create these little grooves on the rocks. Oh, and my white is coming through way too much. That's okay, because that's over where the water is. So if I take blue and black, just let it suction. I might take some black and brown, fix some of this up. He creates all these grooves with these rocks and such, but I don't know how to use the spatula. Create some more water splashes. Make it like water splashing down. So now I need some trees. So I'm just going to use my largest filbert brush I have. Make sure it's nice and dry. Take some green. So I'm just going to dab on some green. And you can add a little black to that green if it's not dark enough for you. You can just add a little black. Change up the tone a little bit. And these are completely different shades, obviously, so I'm just going to go back up and touch up some of these. And then we're going to do the other side, so go ahead and grab that marsh green, and a little black if you feel it, or a little brown. Let's bring down another tree on this side, all the way down. Just carries down the side. Okay, you can put that brush aside, wash that out. Okay, so now we're going to take filbert brush. I guess and do one side with brown and one side with white. Okay. Okay, and then a little bit of white. Actually, I take our little liner brush, get that white wet with water, and pick up some white. And then we're just gonna have a little guy come out here. And one over here. Okay. Take a filbert brush again. We're gonna grab some brown. Just gonna make a landline here. Over here too. With a lighter color, we can create a slight highlight. Okay, so now we're going to take some white and some yellow. I'm going to tap it in some color. And I'm going to use my stippling brush this time, my large stippling. Some white and some yellows. You can add a little of some paint thinning medium if you have any. Just add in your highlights wherever you feel like they need to be. Oh, and there's a bush that laid out here. I'm going to take some yellow ochre. Put a bush right there. Now back to our other trees. Some white and some yellow. And on to the other side. Okay, now wash off your brush. I'm going to use my number 8 filbert brush. I'm going to see what he's doing first. Okay, so we're going to grab that yellow. Some green if you have some. Put some more brush over this guy. Oh, I need some more green. Some bushes down here. And then grabbing some white on my steam brush. Be sure it's thoroughly cleaned. I'm going to pick up some white. If there's any left, you can just draw some water movement. Just need a little more white. Just a little bit. You can move it outwards. And there you have it. And we're done. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. I hope you guys had fun and it was relaxing. That was my entire goal. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I know it doesn't look like Bob Ross's. It really doesn't. But you know what? We still have a wonderful painting at the end of the day. So thank you again. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.